Hey there, welcome to Anime Adventures. I'm Elise Baughman, the voice of Pan from Dragon Ball GT. And I'm with the one and only...
I'm Tony Oliver, and I'm the voice of Lupin the Third and a bunch of other things.
And a bunch of other things. And we're going to talk about a bunch of other things because this is the show where I bring you interviews from Comic-Cons and anime conventions and recording studios and here right now at a hotel after a convention. So stay tuned because I've got my interview with Tony coming right up. So, Tony, we've got so much to talk about. Let me see if I can remember everything he is or has done. You have or are doing voice acting, ADR directing. He's produced, been story editor, been director, been writer. Oh my goodness, so much. But let's talk about voice acting first. Tell me a few characters that you're known for.
It was going way back to the first character.
Yeah.
I really kind of cut my teeth on a show called Robotech.
Yes.
Where I played Rick Hunter, who was your average 17-year-old jet fighter pilot of the future.
Your average, yes,
yeah,
of course.
Your average fighting aliens from outer space. So that's where I started, and that's kind of, that was my first series. I'd actually done a little bit of voice work before that, and I'd done a lot of stage work before that, but you can't make money at stage. I can't make a living in the stage in Los Angeles.
Too bad.
And I wouldn't want to move to New York. So that's what started it, and so that's the first one I'm known for. Later on, I left voice acting for a little while. I mean, I did a bunch of stuff, and then I left voice acting for a while to become a producer, and that's when I did Power Rangers.
That's
so,
right.
So I'm known as Saba, and also a writer on Power Rangers. And then when I left all that, I went back to voice acting, and there it's the ones that come up more is Hibiki from Vandread, who's kind of funny because Hibiki is Mark Hamill shouting from the trash compactor up at 3PO.
Oh, really?
So anytime you hear me doing it, it's like, that's what he sounds like, and it's and that's kind of when I realized about halfway through I was doing it, recording it, and that's what it sounded like. So
that's awesome.
So that Lupin the Third, I've been playing Lupin for about 13, 14 years now.
Really?
Yeah, since he first came out in 2003. So I play the Red Jacket TV series Lupin. There are other people that play the other Lupins for the movies and things like that, but that's what I do. Good grief. Lancer. From the
We're
Fate
getting
series.
help from the side.
Thank you, yes. Lancer from the Fate series.
Oh, yes.
Fate Stay Night and then Unlimited Blade Works and beyond, and that's really been a joy because I also direct those shows as well.
Oh, that's
so I get to kind of get my hands in the story as well as play a really cool character in it.
Do you love being able to direct and play a character in the same show?
No, actually,
Oh,
I'd rather not. I like being directed by other people, so I'd
Yeah.
rather not direct myself if I can avoid it. I can't avoid it a lot. I mean, I'm actually doing a project right now, which was a project based on an old project I did that somebody else directed, but now I'm directing it and I'm also the lead.
Oh, wow,
So it's
that's
been a little
lot.
kind of an interesting trying to learn how to do that and keep,
Yeah.
I'm either too hard or too easy on myself, so I'm trying to find that balance point.
Are you a good actor for yourself?
I don't know, maybe I think so. I'd like to think so. They keep paying me, so I must be doing something right.
Something's going right. They haven't cut you yet.
Yeah. Let me mention two more roles that I was supposed to mention.
Oh,
That was
okay,
Minato
for sure.
from Naruto.
Oh, yes,
And
yeah.
Ulquiorra from Bleach. So those are the kind of the mainstream stuff.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned those, yeah. So let's talk about directing a little bit,
Okay.
and then I know you also teach, so we want to talk about that, but I think it's interesting that you do the directing as well for ADR directing. So tell me about that.
Directing. Directing is, I discovered a while back that I find the same joy in directing that I find in acting.
Really?
It really brought me the same creative satisfaction I was getting. Even when I did plays and stuff like that, because that was really where my heart is in the theater. But I really found that being able to tell the story and being involved in the storytelling was something that really appealed to me. And I kind of came to it from a strange perspective because I started out, I wasn't directing when I went to work at Saban. I was actually a writing supervisor.
Oh.
And I was adapting ADR for them, and then I became part of their development team, and that's how I ended up working on Power Rangers as a writer and a development guy.
So you said you like the storytelling.
Oh, the
and
storytelling part, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
and
started producing that, and I was working at Saban as a story writer, and then one day a director called in sick. and we had to get it done. And I said, well, can I do it? So I jumped in and I found I had a little bit of a knack for it. I liked it.
Interesting.
And so whenever I was producing a project, if I could, I would hire myself as a director, which is kind of how I learned how to direct. I just kind of kept hiring myself. And I ended up directing TV specials, and I directed a special with Paul Rodriguez. And I mean, I ended up doing an awful lot of stuff. And so when I left Saban and went on freelance on my own, one of the first things I was looking for was directing, because it was I thought it was an easier thing to get to than the producing, and it takes a specific skill set that, you know, a lot of people can produce, less people can direct, so I felt there was less competition. And
Smart.
Yeah, and I just ended up really liking it, and I found that I have part of it's because I like actors. So I like working with the actor and getting them to bring out their best inner self when they're doing this stuff.
That makes sense.
And I really enjoy that. So that's kind of why I mostly do that these days. I direct JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Hunter x Hunter, which just finished on Toonami, BeyBlade Burst Turbo, Lego Friends. I said JoJo, Lego Friends is an American cartoon. Do a couple of those. And it just keeps, and on the entire Fate series, I've directed all of the Fates that have played in this country so far.
I love that. I love what you said, though, that you like telling the stories, which if you have the theater background and the acting background, it's all about telling the stories.
Yeah.
And then it sounds like you really like that collaboration process with the actors.
Yeah, I do.
That's so cool.
I like actors a lot, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for the director to like his actors.
Well, there's a lot that don't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that you know, and they're not pleasant to work for usually.
You've probably been on that side as well as an actor.
Sure, yeah.
Well, and then that kind of is a good segue into teaching, because you teach and, man, have some amazing classes and workshops, and if you like actors, that's a good thing to be as well. So I would love to hear about your workshops and your classes and your workouts.
Okay, well, it's called Adventures in Voice Acting, and it started out of a DVD documentary that Bang Zoom produced called Adventures in Voice Acting. In fact, this is really an initiative of Bang Zoom that we work together on.
And if somebody doesn't know Bang Zoom, if they're not familiar,
was one of the primary anime production studios in the country, and now they do much more. Actually, the Marvel works there. They do major cartoons. They do major television shows. So this is actually quite a large. It's grown into quite a big entity, which means we get the advantage in the anime stuff that we do of working with Emmy-winning people who really know their stuff, which makes our shows a little bit better. But this was an initiative that started back then, and after the DVD, after the documentary, they started getting a lot of questions. So they decided to throw some classes together just to, you know, and they had a couple people did it at first, and then they asked me, and I went in and I taught one class and fell in love with teaching. I absolutely fell in love with it. I didn't, and that was the last thing I thought I was going to do.
Really?
And so I developed a curriculum, and we developed them over workshops, and it's grown. It's been growing now for over 10 years. To now I have 3 different workshops I teach, and a 4-week class called Getting Out of Your Head, How Not to Voice Act.
I saw that on your website.
Well, it's for actors who've been working for a little while and are really starting to run into that wall, because we all run into that. We all have to go through that wall at some point in our career.
True.
And it's for those people. And then we actually brought new teachers in. So Julie Cleaver now teaches character development, and she teaches from a different perspective on how to develop characters, mostly for mainstream animation. And we're going to be adding more as we go. We're just about to add a class on vocal health and phonation and all that stuff. Nobody's really offering that.
That's true.
Yes, and we have someone now that is well trained in that. So,
good.
Yeah. So it's we continue to grow it, and it's fun because I've been doing it for so long, and I have a lot of students now who are working in the industry, who they've taken what I taught them and what other people have taught them. I'm not responsible for their careers. They did the work themselves, but they took what I taught and what other people have taught them and really made something out of it, and that's really satisfying for me.
Oh, wow.
When I see one of my students, or in the case of Sailor Moon, most of the sailors are taking classes from me, and other people, not just for me, but for me and other people. It's really, I get a kick out of it, because I help I didn't get here by myself.
Right.
So it's fun to kind of pay it forward.
I love that. Yeah. And it's not just, we should mention, it's not just in Burbank that you teach. You go around to major cities in the country.
Yes, we do. In fact, we're going to be here in Dallas. In September 20th and 21st.
Oh, okay.
And we'll be teaching. I'll be teaching here my two main workshops, the Level A and Level B workshops. We were just in Chicago about a week ago, and I'll be in Seattle a little bit later this year, and we're every 2 months in Los Angeles.
And they can go to your website. People can go to your website, which is
adventuresatvoiceacting.com.
Yes.
And just click on the thing to find out about the workshops. And there's plenty of information there, and you can get on our email list, and then we just let you know in your area.
Yeah, you have a lot of great information on the website. I loved going to that.
Yeah, we'll be. What's not on there is we're going to be going to New York a little bit later this year.
So, oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh, good.
Just haven't set it up yet.
That's so great to have a class, and it's not just anime; it's other vocal techniques as well.
True, but it's based in anime, and the reason is because it's really different. Anime is you have to act. In anime, the characters are very deep, and there's a lot of story involved in them, unlike some of the American animation. And you have to be able to act that, but it's also very technical. You have to get it in lips. You have to match timing. There's a lot of different things you have to do. So if I've discovered if I can get somebody to act comfortably in an anime atmosphere, they can pretty much handle anything
that's
gets
a good
thrown
point.
at them, and especially video games, which is especially tough.
Yeah.
Because of the type of stuff that you have to do and how fast you have to do it and all that stuff. Anime kind of lends itself to that.
That's a good point. Well, you know what I loved in our conversation? It sounds like your career, you're very passionate and you love working with people. And then it sounds like you also had a couple of happy accidents where you got to direct and then you discovered you loved it. Yeah. And then you didn't expect to teach and then you discovered you loved it.
I've had a career
what a great
stuffed with serendipity.
Yes.
I even fell into this side of the career. I mean, I answered an ad for a voice job.
Really?
And I got the voice job and discovered that I liked it, and they were nobody was willing to pay me to be on camera, but they were all willing to pay me to talk on a microphone.
That's awesome. It just kind of goes to show we can make plans. I know I'm a planner and I made some plans, but sometimes you just don't know where life is going to take you.
No.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
My
this
pleasure.
has been
Thank you.
awesome.
Thanks
I
a lot.
loved it. Yeah. So we'll see you later.
Bye.